food as we speak, which is very bad etiquette. I'm finishing some little snacks to hold me over until this is done. But today,
I talk a lot.
I'm gonna turn all the talking over to you so I can have my lunch and learn. Welcome, guys. Is this week 4, Justin?
I think it is. Yeah, week 4.
Week number 4, guys, where we are going to be breaking down just how automation gives you your time back when being involved in the largest coaching program in the nation when it comes to wholesaling. It's interesting when I talk to everyone, like when they're coming into the game, right? Like they're at the first time, they're picking up the phone, they're having conversation with me. I'd say 8 or 9 out of 10 all have the same reason why they're getting into real estate and what is it about real estate that wants them to succeed. And they're like, I want my time back. Like I'm working at this job that's dead end. It's not growing in income, but more importantly is they're losing out on time with their family, making memories. And so majority of the people, when I talk to them getting into the game, they're looking for time freedom. But here is fast forward once they're in the game 6 months, once they're in the game 1 year, once they're in the game like me 5 years, fast forward to that point and they still haven't got all their time back because they haven't invested the right amount of time and money into automation, into processes, into systems. And so today, guys, I want to hopefully open your mind, open your your whole entire learning curve right now between me and Justin during this next little bit that we're doing this live with you. I want your mind opened up to the possibility of actually fulfilling what it was that got you into real estate in the first place, and that's to get more time back. And we're going to talk about how automation, processes, and what systems, softwares allow you to get that time back and be more freaking profitable in this game called wholesaling. So let's get going. We have Justin Silverio, one of my favorite people that's really good at being the brain and the guy that dares to go out there and actually fulfill. He's an investor himself from the Boston market, right? A very competitive, concentrated market. And he was out there like, man, there's got to be ways to do this processes. And there really wasn't systems in place. What I love about Justin is, unlike me, I'm like, I don't want to build a software. I don't know anything like that. Justin did. He had the courage to go fulfill that and build the automations that we're going to learn about right now. And that I'm grateful that he did. So Justin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what you've done, and why in the heck did you get gutsy enough to get out there and put your own processes in place and systems in place?
All right. Well, that was a hell of an introduction. Thank you, Cody.
I'm good at that. I'm good at that, and I'm good at eating snacks. So meanwhile, I'm going to be doing my lunch and learn while you talk.
So I started real estate investing about 10 years ago while I was working my day job. And that actually helped me a lot to be very efficient with my time, as many people try to be as efficient as possible. But this really made me uber efficient because I only had so much time in the day to do all of my day work at my day job and then invest on the side in the morning, at nights, on the weekends. So I started 10 years ago rehabbing single-family homes. And then from that point on, I moved up to mid-market, high-end homes, high-end new construction. And now most of the stuff that I'm doing is development in the city of Boston. So multi-family condo conversions, anywhere from 3 to 6 units. So that's kind of my core focus, with also doing a lot of wholesaling outside of the city. So I have my fast cash and I have my development projects that take a little bit longer, or a lot longer, in the city. About 4.5 years ago, I launched Open Letter Marketing. I saw there was a huge void in the market for direct-to-seller marketing, options, products, services. And that's the space I really got started in once I started in real estate investing, is figuring out what works the best, why it works the best, how to get competitive advantage over my competitors. So I launched Open Letter Marketing about 4.5 years ago with the intent to help other investors do the same thing basically I was doing in my own investment company. So I would try everything, test everything before I started offering the service. And ever since that 4.5 years ago, we've been growing with products and services as I continuously test and track and modify to make sure that I'm ahead of the curve. And that's where we always want to be with the company, is ahead of the curve. So we're providing our customers with the absolute best product, services, and customer support.
So fast forward, we've been doing this now for 3 weeks, and we've gone through some fun freaking stuff. What have we gone through over the past 3 weeks? Because you probably know even the process of what was first, what was next. But what kind of softwares have you been able to develop? What automation? What softwares have you developed that allow business to flow easier, but also get that time back?
So we have 3 main software that we've created. And we've already gone through the CRM, which most people are pretty familiar with because the term is thrown around a lot, right? And the CRM, the way that I look at that is basically anytime that you get in touch with a prospect, so anytime from point of contact with the prospect of actually on the phone through to closing.
Yep.
That's where all that information, communications, that's held in the CRM. We also went through the returned mail system. So if you're sending out direct mail, and you get a bunch of mail that comes back. And on average, I think there's about 10% on average you get returned mail. When you get the returned mail, you can actually scan your returned mail in using your webcam through our system. It'll automatically spit out the property address information for you. So now you don't have to kind of manually type everything in or hire a virtual assistant to do that. It does it automatically for you. And also, one thing that we didn't go over, we haven't added functionality on that you can actually click. You can click another button starting the end of this week. You can click a button that will automatically skip trace it right in the system.
Phenomenal.
Like immediately.
I've
loved it's really cool.
Loved how easy your system's been, but more importantly, the cost. So guys, what he's talking about, depending on what platform you're watching this, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook, first and foremost, welcome. Thank you for being here with us. But he's talking about openlettermarketing.com. And then I have a personal portal for you guys so that you get the tribe pricing, so that you get everything at my exact cost that I pay for this stuff, for these services that allow me to get my time back. And it's up on the screen right now, but it's openlettermarketing.com/REFF. That stands for Real Estate Freedom Formula. And again, I'm grateful that you, first and foremost, you and your team put this together, because I know that wasn't easy. I was like, no, I like it like this. No, I like it like that. No, if we're going to use this, it's got to be this kind of a discount. No, if we're going to do that, then they got to get this pricing. And you were just like, sweet, let's do it. Sweet, let's do it. Sweet, let's do it. And so I'm grateful for that, because I know this is going to serve a lot of tribe members at a very, very high level. So much that I was willing to switch over all of my accounts to this product, which was really awesome. So let's break it in. What if we share so they know what we're talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Let's share.
Screen, or you should be able to push it, and then I'll just join again. So I'm giving you the access.
There we go.
So guys, while he's pulling this up, if you want to learn about all these different services, the CRM, right? We're talking about where you put your customer relationship management. Where is that at? He has a Podio base that I was even Podio based. I spent over like 20 grand customizing my own CRM. It has all the functionality we've been missing and more. And it's been awesome because it communicates with one of the softwares that we're going to talk about today, and that's InvestorHub. Let me put this on so that we can see this.
Sweet.
This is the portal, guys. Let me take this banner off so we can see. And that way, you guys, I'll let you take over, Justin. Kind of tell us a little bit about, in general, because some people are brand new watching this for the first time. Kind of go over all the unique little features before we hop into InvestorHub.
Yeah. So the goal for this portal is to make it very straightforward and easy for people to kind of navigate. There's different tutorial videos up here, how to place an order. So everything's laid out very easily. We even show you a path for your direct mail as you continue to build your business through beginner, through advanced. So we have different sequences of direct mail that you send out. We have all of our direct mail products down here. Next, we have the software. So we talked about OLM Deal Flow CRM. We talked about that about 2 weeks ago. The OLM returned mail system we talked about last week. And this week, we're going to talk about OLM InvestorHub. And I'm going to explain how they all fit together. But if you ever have any questions, you can come down here and click on this little infographic that explains exactly how they work together and how they all integrate together, which is even more important, so you're not duplicating efforts in multiple systems. And that was the big thing for us. We wanted everything to be flawlessly integrated, and also we wanted the pricing to be basically no-brainer pricing, because this system is so powerful, not only in reducing people's time, but also increasing their revenue, because now they're going to be much more effective where their time goes and how they're marketing. So that was the big things for us.
Here's a good question I'm going to put out there real quick. I love this. This is a great one. You ready? We're bringing out big guns right now out of the gate, Justin. Get ready.
Let's do it.
That is, wholesaling is dead. Everyone's fixing and flipping now. Any thoughts? You ready for this? I think the best part is that if people are fixing and flipping, they still are in need of deals. So here's the answer to that question. If you're seeing people fixing and flipping, that also means deals are being found, which means wholesaling is very much still alive. Because at the end of the day, let's break it down the smallest term. Wholesaling is just simply the art of being a deal finder. It's going out there and finding deals that are off market at 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar. A very real time, I'll let Justin share for himself as well. Just 2 weeks ago, we did 9 deals under contract in 1 week. So that was 2 weeks ago. We did 6 in my Utah market and 3 in my Dallas-Fort Worth market, where we put them under contract at 40, 50, 60 cents on the dollar. And yes, are there some cash buyers? Like when people are saying wholesaling's dead, it's because you can probably ask them how many cash buyers are on their list, and they'll probably tell you 5. And yes, for that reason, it could be very much dead for them. But we have over 6,000 cash buyers on our list. And yes, have people said, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not going to fix up homes right now. Yes. And as our list shrunk a little bit, yes, these are true. But there's still a ton of people out there that are still looking for deals and know how to invest during this market and need incredible individuals like you to get out there and start finding deals to bring them their next fix and flip. So the fact that people are doing fix and flipping should be the answer also that, yes, wholesaling's still alive. That means deals are still being bought. Justin.
This could go on for a while, but no. Anytime you generalize, it's usually not true, right? If wholesaling is dead, people are only fixing and flipping. There's just like you said, that's not true at all. I mean, I just got a contract under agreement for a wholesale today. It's all about finding properties at a discount and then selling them to people that are fixing and flipping. The other thing I should say is if everybody's fixing and flipping, that means there's more competition in fixing and flipping. So that means if there's more competition, it's harder to find a deal. So they're willing to spend a little bit more money on that. So then if you come in and you negotiate a good wholesale or a good deal with the seller, now you have a lot of demand on the other side. Your supply is short because people are, they might not be good at marketing, finding deeply discounted properties. So now you can make that a nicer spread if there's so many people fixing and flipping. And that's exactly why I do some development deals, but I do a lot of wholesale deals as well. So as far as fixing and flipping and wholesaling is dead, no, I definitely disagree.
One, Justin, so we can just get this out of the way. I thought we should be cold calling now. I thought direct mail was dead and too expensive. I love this question. Guys, thank you for bringing this up. Aaron, I owe you a victory bell for this question. This one's awesome. So let me tell you how good this is. Real-time stats. I just went through, is cold calling great? Yes. Do I have cold calling working in my business? Yes. I have 6 cold callers. Now, for me physically, if I had to cold call, let me tell you the downside of cold calling if it was me. I'm not saying my team because we very much do it. But let me tell you the downside if it was me, is it would never get done because that means I physically have to pick up a phone, trade my time for leads, where I can just simply click a mouse button and send out 10,000 postcards or 10,000 letters and let the leads come to me. And this takes like 10 seconds. Like, set it up, click. Mail is going out, doing all the heavy lifting for me so I can go enjoy my family, enjoy my wife, enjoy my kids. And I love when people say it's dead or it's too expensive. Here's the reality. Don't go off hearsay. Go test it. Like, try it yourself so that you know those numbers. Don't let someone validate that for you, because there's a lot of hype by individuals out there teaching that cold calling is the cheapest. It's my number one most expensive cost per contract right now. Cost per contract. I'm up to $6,000, almost double what my direct mail is cost per conversion. $6,000. I'm only around $3,500 for my cost per conversion with direct mail. So I'm almost half. Those are real-time stats right now in my business. I have to pay people $20 an hour to cold call, and on average, it's taking 100 hours per contract. That's a lot of hours, and that's a lot of people you got to manage. Direct mail, click, and it goes out there and does all the heavy lifting for you, and it's almost half the cost per conversion right now. So these are real-time stats. I'm grateful you brought this up, because I think in people's heads, like, oh, it's going to be less. All I got to do is pay for Mojo Dialer, and all I got to do is pay for I just got to pick up the phone and just a skip trace, and I just got to pick up the phone and start doing it. Well, your time's worth something, right? Like, if I had to do that, my wife would be like many of us watching right now are probably 9 to 5 W2 workers. And it's like, that means you're going to have to cold call when you get home. I'm not cold calling. I'm just saying, if it were me, that's going to be tough. My wife's going to be like, you're not doing that for 4 hours every day after you get home from work. Like,
that's why I started with direct mail, because it was scalable, right? Just like you said, you can click. That one click will do 100 letters or 10,000 letters. There's no difference. It's still the same amount of time. With cold calling, it takes more time, but even still, like, you should have different methods, right? Different marketing channels that you're still going out to. And I'll tell you from my own experience, and even from a lot of my customers' experiences that are doing 100+ wholesale deals a year, their number one source is direct mail. Number one source.
It's ours too. That's why when people say it's dead, I'm like, if this gets preached on a national level, it's going to be really good for me, because then my cost per acquisition just keeps going down. And so I don't know why that. I don't know, Aaron. That's a great question. I appreciate that question. I don't know why people say that, because for those that actually believe it versus just going out there and testing it and letting the proof tell you how it is, you're missing out on a lot of deals. You're missing out on a big part of the market.
That goes for a lot of things, especially with marketing in general, is don't take somebody else's word for it, test it. Because it might it might be better or worse than they're saying. And generally, people that are actually marketing or doing direct mail or doing any type of marketing channel and they say it's dead, they're probably not doing it properly. So always go out and test and make sure you're executing effectively. And
I do this in both my markets, Justin. We had a question that says, good luck with it in Dallas market. Coincidentally, I have two markets, Utah and Dallas, and we mail in both and get a lot of deals in both.
Excellent. Good. So, any other questions, or should I push on?
Nope. Keep going. Let's hop into InvestorHub.
All right. So InvestorHub is what we're going to be talking about today. This is a lead and marketing management tool. So let me just explain the difference between the InvestorHub and the CRM, because some people are a little bit confused, and I'll pull up this infographic. So the way that OLM InvestorHub is, the intention was to allow people to not only create their lists, but create their lists and go all the way through marketing execution. Once somebody calls back from your marketing, then it goes into the CRM, which is called OLM Deal Flow. So you can see you can build lists, you can do a marketing strategy, And then you have your sales and marketing management. So you're executing your marketing. Then when somebody calls in, now they're in contact with prospect. Now it goes into OLM deal flow. So these systems are essentially your whole marketing system or sales and marketing system for your whole company. Okay. So let's go into OLM InvestorHub and I'll explain a little bit more for you.
Okay.
So the reason why I created this is because not only myself, but a lot of my customers at Open Letter were executing direct mail, but might not be doing it the most effective way possible. And, I spent a lot of time in Excel and figuring out the best way to actually execute marketing. And while I'd love to handhold every single customer, it takes a lot of time to go through that process and create it every single time. So that's why I wanted to develop a software that would basically help people and teach them how to not only execute marketing properly, but how to build lead lists, right? What's
Tell
the
us
saying?
The common, Justin, like when you say like not being effective or being inefficient, what are some of the common inefficiencies? What are some of the common things that when they say, mail, I'm not able to manage this, or mail is not quite working for me, and it leads to a deeper problem of like, well, it's this inefficiency. What are those inefficiencies so we can kind of hear what that is? Because I know there was a lot of inefficient things I was doing direct mail, but I'm curious on your point. Like, what's the common inefficiencies you're seeing?
So I'll give you one of the most, the biggest inefficiencies that I see over and over is, and I'll ask you with the question, do you execute marketing the same way for every single one of your leads? And if the answer is yes.
For a very long time, yes, Justin. In fact, probably until I met you, what's crazy is for the last 5 years, it's been yes. Every one of my leads get the same marketing piece until I met you, man.
Yeah, it's so true. And so many people were doing that. And I was doing that up until, a couple of years ago or so. Because I didn't understand that you could be more effective when you start to understand your leads. So, because you have to understand from a very, basic point of your leads, you're going to have leads that are really high quality and some that are going to be low quality. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. If you have a lead that's on an absentee, deceased, driving for dollar, probate list, right? They're on all 4 of those lists. And then you have somebody else that's just on a senior list. Which lead is going to be more effective? The first one is, because there's going to be more potential for motivation, right? So after you understand like what leads, what lists are higher quality versus which ones aren't, now you can rank those leads into high, medium, and low quality, and you can execute marketing differently based on the quality of the lead. So you're now spending more time and money on the high quality and less on the low quality.
I'd say, what's the pro of knowing the difference between a high quality? Like, what's one of the big benefits? I know what my answer is to this is like, what's the pro of knowing this is a high quality, this is a medium quality, this is low quality? Once you know that, and you start marketing with that in mind, with the strategy, knowing that the quality of the lead, what's the pro? What's the number one pro? I think in my mind, what's the number one pro that you get from that knowledge and treating them differently?
You can more effectively market and spend your time and money in the right area.
That one, we were spending the same amount of money on a low quality lead as our high quality lead, where this will get you more effective and efficient even on your budget. So when we talk about profitability and making sure that we're able to be profitable. Now, here's the cool thing about just wholesaling in general is it's not unheard of to get to the point where you are a 50% keep net. For every dollar that comes in, you net 50% of it, 50 cents, right? That's huge. What other business can you say I net 50 cents of every dollar that comes in revenue? It's not unheard of to get your business to that point, but you need to know how to effectively and efficiently spend your money on marketing. So if it's a low quality lead, why would you spend high marketing dollars on that quality lead? Use a different marketing channel for these low quality. And this is what he's talking about. So you're getting more profitable.
Yeah. And most people don't maybe they might understand that, but there's no easy way. There was no easy way to do it. So it was too much management. It was a pain. And that goes for a lot of different things. With marketing and list building, there's a lot of mundane tasks that take a lot of time that a lot of people just say, it's not even worth it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to make it easy for myself. But that's the other thing that this system does so nicely is it reduces your time in those kind of menial tasks that you don't need to spend your time anymore on. And I'll go through some of those things now with you just to show kind of the highlight of what the system can do. So right now I'm on the dashboard. You can see how many leads I have in the system. I have about 19,000. I have about 1,000 super leads. Super leads are essentially just leads that are on multiple lead lists. They're stacked leads.
Yeah,
exactly. On my right-hand side, you can see the vacancies. So when you import lists into the system, it's checking for vacancies. It's checking for absentee owners. It's checking for people that own multiple properties. It's doing address validation and correction. It's identifying super leads. It's doing all that stuff. And then on a monthly basis, in addition to that, it's checking new vacant properties on a monthly basis. So you can see I have 2 new vacant properties since the last time it was checked on July 1st. So a lot of our users that are in here are actually going after these leads immediately.
Yeah.
So as soon as they're identified vacant, they are the first people that are going out and talking to these sellers. Down here, you can see the lead quality. So you can see I have 3,000 high quality, 5,500 medium quality, and 9,000 low quality. Now, just imagine if I was spending the same amount of money for all of these leads. There's going to be almost 2/3 that I'm spending the same amount that are low quality leads versus my high quality leads. So now I'm saving a tremendous amount of money and time that I can just focus on my really high quality and less time on my low quality.
And not only less time, like you said, it's less marketing dollars allocated to the lower quality. Not that they don't hit. Every one of those leads will get hit, but it'll be hit with a form of marketing that cost fraction the price of someone that's like high quality.
Yep. And I'll go through the marketing campaigns, how I have them set up as well for the different quality leads. The list chart shows you just what lists that you have in your system at a very high level, how many absentees, how many condition, deceased, and it will show you the color that is associated with the quality of the lead that they are. Down at the bottom, so that's all like lead management, right? At the bottom, you have marketing management. It's going to tell you any overdue activities, marketing activities that you're delayed on. It's going to show you upcoming activities. Again, the goal is to not only make sure that you have really good lead lists in the system and understand your leads, but also it's going to help you execute and make sure that you're on schedule with all of your marketing. Because as we know, there's a lot going on with our real estate investment business. And if you get a deal, especially if you're a rehabber or even if you're a wholesaler to find a buyer, you could forget about sending your marketing because you're now working on other part of your business. And this system helps you maintain and make sure that your marketing is continuously executing because as we know, consistency is absolutely key when you're marketing.
100% true.
So this is the dashboard. I'm just going to go into the marketing campaign. So this is where you can really see how I'm executing depending on the quality of the list. And I think I just did this as a test. So let me just delete this guy. So right here, you can see that my high quality leads, you can see there's a lot of marketing activities that I'm sending. I'm hitting them with handwritten letters, then a ringless voicemail, then a text message, then an email, then another ringless voice message, right? That's my whole marketing campaign for these high quality leads. Medium quality leads, I'm doing the same thing because for myself, I wanted to hit my medium quality just as much as the high quality. But low quality, you can see I'm just sending text and ringless voicemail, a very cheap form of marketing to them. So I'm not spending a ton of money, but I'm still hitting them.
Crucial.
So now
it doesn't mean forget about them, guys. That's the whole point of saying it doesn't mean forget about them. It just means be more methodical and be more like strategic in your marketing efforts on how you reach out to them.
And the best thing with this system is, people can grasp that concept pretty easily, but it's the beauty of the system that makes it easily doable for everybody to do this and to break them up.
Yeah.
Not only that, so this isn't just kind of like a picture view of what you're going to be doing for marketing. It's also smart enough to know that if you say you sent a direct mail piece and said somebody said, take me off your list. If you go into their lead and remove them from the list, which I'll do that in a minute,
yep,
it'll be removed from all future marketing activities. So when you go to execute, for instance, your email, they're not going to be on the list again, and you're not going to hit them again.
That's awesome. So just
it's
one click, it takes care of it within the within the process, within the software.
Yep. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to click for all the leads here. So there are, how many leads is that? 5829. So let me just click on these 4 leads and say remove. They were undeliverable.
5829.
So 5829. Now it's 5825.
That's awesome.
Right. So this number doesn't change because it's already been completed. You've already sent out this marketing activity, and people want to understand how much did I actually send out.
Yeah.
So we're not just going in and changing all of these. If you've completed something, it's staying. The numbers are not moving because it's an actual representation of what you actually sent out for the marketing. So that's kind of how this system works and how it's smart enough. You can execute right from here. So you can go and fulfill your direct mail through here very easily.
Yep.
We're also implementing saved presets to make things even easier. So you can actually just click on a preset and it automatically orders for you. So that's coming in the next week or so. So this is the goal, right? You want to get to make sure that you're allocating your marketing spend in the right areas, because essentially if you're focusing on your highest quality leads, you're reducing your spend, you're increasing your chances, which that increases your marketing ROI. So decreasing expense, increasing revenue, that's kind of what we're all shooting for.
Ability.
We do. So that's on the marketing side. Some other things with lead and lead management. When you enter in your leads, and we went over this last week as far as the removed mail, returned mail system, how that integrates into the system. You scan your returned mail. Okay, I have a returned mail piece here. You scan your returned mail here. You click a button. It flows into the system, finds the lead, and pushes them into the removed leads list. Okay?
So even though they're completely two different softwares, guys, when you remove that by putting it to your camera, right? Yeah. It does beep, and it actually sounds just like a grocery store, to be honest. It's awesome. It automatically comes over to this software. So this is why I love the one-stop shop. It's like these softwares all talk with each other. So you're in one and you get all this return mail. You just boom, do the barcode. It pulls them out of the system in this software as well. So now you got the remove leads. But then furthermore, what do you do with those removed leads? Because they're not garbage, obviously. Right. So what do you do from there?
And just before I explain that, the reason why we have two, like a leads page, which you're seeing right now, and a removed leads page, which looks similar, is because think of the leads page as your active leads, who you're actively marketing to. And think of your removed leads page as people that you're not marketing to, but you still need to keep in the system, because as we know, we refresh lists all the time. So if somebody says, take me off your list, they're gonna live in the removed leads page, so they never get pulled back into your active leads. And that was the struggle with a lot of investors. When somebody said, take me off your list, like, okay, now I have to go into my spreadsheet. I have to find out where they are. I have to remove them from the spreadsheet. I have to make sure that they're not going out in any other marketing channels that I have going on. And then in the future, when I refresh a list, I have to make sure they don't get back on to my marketing activities and hit them again. So that's why we have a removed leads page, is to make sure people are still in your system, but you're not marketing to them, and they'll never get back into your active marketing channel unless you push them back in.
Which again comes back to cut expenses, more
exactly.
profitability.
Yes. So as we were talking before, when you scan in your returned mail, all the leads that were in the active lead page get kicked over into the removed leads page with a status of undeliverable. Now I just highlighted do not contact, but if I come here and I say status is undeliverable, search, I have 100 properties that are undeliverable. Now all that I have to do is select all, click on update undeliverables, click on order. I'm not going to put in my credit card.
Yep.
So you can't get my credit card information. But you just click on that. What it's going to do is the system is going to look at all the properties that you just selected, and it's going to replace the existing mailing address, which is here, with a new mailing address. And it will never replace it with the same mailing address. The system is smart enough to say, oh, okay, 41 Sesame Street, it's not that one. It's already, that one is undeliverable. Okay, go to the next one. And then it pushes this old address into your mailing address history. So it's never going to pull these addresses back in the system again. It's always going to pull a new mailing address for you. But you'll always have but you'll also have the historical information to understand, all right, I already mailed to these mailing addresses, none of them hit.
Here's what I think is also cool about this is it tracks the history. I don't know if anyone realizes just how gold this is. The history is what's killer, right? Because if it goes through and it says, hey, we've tried this person, 4 different addresses, and all of them came back undeliverable, let me tell you what that lead just turned into for me. That turned into 0 competition. That turned into no one will be on this lead. You do whatever you can to get a hold of this person, whether that's skip trace and call, whatever it is, because right now that would be like one of those ones that I'm like, ooh, no one knows about this and no one's working as hard as me to get the information from this individual. So you find ways to do that. One question I had, Justin, that was on here, because I actually know nothing about this software, by the way. How does this compare to RE Simply, maybe? Is that how you say it?
I think RE Simply is a CRM. It's not a lead and marketing management system. This is there's no other system that does what this system does.
Okay, so this is the only one of its kind, guys, managing your marketing, So when we're talking managing leads, yes, there's CRMs and a lot of different CRMs out there. But what we're talking right now is just managing your marketing. And there's no other software out there currently managing your marketing. It's normally just you or a virtual assistant.
Right. So as you were saying, the status history is so important, so you can see the life cycle of where this lead was flowing in and out. So if it does find a new mailing address, it's automatically going to push the lead back into your leads page. So you don't have to take another step and then push them back into the leads page if the mailing address was found. So it's automatically going to do that. And when it does that, it will push that lead back into your future marketing activities. So like we talked about before, similar to removing these leads off of your active leads page, when you push a lead back from removed leads to the active leads, it's also going to increase this number because you're adding them back into the active leads and telling the system you want to market back to these people.
So that's just another automated process.
That's just one aspect. If I select, you can see there's lots of different fulfillment options later on this week. So one big update that we did that a lot of people were asking for, let me just see, is we gave people the ability to remove duplicate mailing addresses.
Yep.
So a lot of people said, I only want to send one letter to a person that has maybe multiple properties. So now we gave them the ability to do that. So if you click on it, you just saw it decrease by 3. So now you're not spending the money if you don't want to. I still mail to everyone, even if they own 5 properties. I still send them 5 different letters, 1 for each property. But I know there are a lot of people that don't want to do that. So we gave that button here. That was very easy. The other really cool feature at the end of the week we'll have up here is a way to skip trace your driving for dollar leads or just any leads where you only have a property address. So let's say that you only have property addresses because you drive around and you're writing down the property names. You now don't have to look and skip trace for the homeowner name and address. or spend money for another system, you can just input those leads with just property address, and we're going to have a homeowner skip trace product. It's already done. We just need to push it to live. And what it will do is it will take the property address and give you the name, first and last name, mailing address, up to 5 phone numbers, and up to 3 email addresses for that lead. So now you don't have to go through that whole routine of finding the mail addresses for all those people.
That's awesome.
So, other things that the system can do, obviously you can create tons of different filters. If you're in multiple markets, you can create different views for different markets. And then you can see right here the list quality. So going back to the whole kind of bread and butter of the system is identifying what is the high quality, medium quality, and low quality of your leads. If you look at these leads, you can see all the medium, high, low. You can see the list count. This property is on 2 lists. Let me just let me do a quick search and see all the leads that are on greater than 2 lists. So I have 14 leads that are greater on more than 2 lists. If I click on one of these and click on history, you can see this lead is on small houses, absentee, and vacant lead list.
That's really, really cool, because here's the thing. If my acquisition managers have an additional, for some minute, for whatever reason, they have like, hey, I have an hour on my hand right now. I want them working that lead right there. I don't want them like, yes, follow-up's crucial, guys. Don't get me wrong. But if you know where your most effective minutes can be, if you had something that said, hey, guys, these leads are on 4 different lists, where are you going to spend your time? The one that's on one list, it's only high equity, or the one that's on probate, eviction, notice of default, divorce, like tax delinquent, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, now I know where my time is supposed to be. So we all have these little pockets throughout our day. Like I have 30 minutes right now. I have 20 minutes right now. I have an hour right now. I have 2 hours right now. What if you had software that could just tell you, and here's how you should spend it?
Yep.
That, my friend, is killer.
And this is exactly how I do that. So if I wanted to, have my acquisition team start making calls for the hottest quality leads, I'll tell them to come in here, property city. I'll give them a specific town. And then I'll say list quality is high, search 62 leads right here. These are the leads that I'm going to say call through all of these ones. And if there's no phone numbers, they can select all.
That's awesome.
They can go to fulfillment. They can skip trace, phone and email append, order, right? They order them, then they come back, and then they start calling through all those 62 leads.
Phenomenal.
So it's super quick, very easy to do.
Guys, these are the efficiencies we talked about. This is I had a good question, Justin, just the other day. They're saying like, I get this on my Wednesday call, my support call with my students, and an individual was just asking in general. He's like, hey, how should I fill my day? These are the little things, right? Mm-hmm. When we look at other people's businesses, the first thing to remember is never compare your business to someone else's, or never compare your beginning to someone's end, or someone's middle to someone's beginning. Never compare your business, period, the end. You're only competing against yourself, that you're getting better each and every day, that you're a better individual than you were yesterday. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's the little things. So many times we look at people's businesses that might be doing 10 deals or 15 deals a month, and we think that they're doing, what big things are you doing? And I'm here to tell you, there's no big things. It's just consistently doing the small, simple things and consistently doing them. Like just the small and simple things, but consistently doing those. And that brings to pass the big results. So when you see big results, it's not big action making big results. It's just small and simple, consistent action that's creating all this momentum, all this traction to have these big results. So these are the little things. Like that's not hard. Every one of you probably watching this said, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense. Now, what's crucial at this point is common practice, or I should say it's like common sense, right? Common sense. Everyone's like, common sense, that's common sense. I look at that, that's common sense. Common sense isn't always common practice. Now there's going to be a few of you that actually jump and do something about it. You're like, oh my gosh, that's common sense. Well, let's see if it's now common practice, because very few people turn in practice. But I remember, guys, it's not big things. It's just small things and doing them consistently. And these are the small little things that you can add to your business to start seeing big results.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, that's so important. That what you just said, that's so critical. A couple other things I just wanted to show you too. Within fulfillment, so you can see you have your direct mail, you can purchase lead lists from right in here. So absentee, equity, tax lien, vacants. Skip tracing, you have data cleansing. So in this system, you can actually remove or identify sold homes. So, and everybody has this issue. How do you remove sold homes from your list? There's no good answer. There was no good answer, but we've teamed up with a company that not only pulls MLS data, but also public records data. Yeah. And that's really important. Those little details are very important because for one of my areas that I actually invest in, over 50% of the deals, properties sell off market. So that means they never hit the MLS.
Yeah.
So if somebody is if I was not an investor and didn't understand that, and I only gave you the MLS data, I could be potentially missing a huge data point for my customers, and they wouldn't be pulling out those sold homes that sold off market. So you can come into here and you can, I got to select enough leads, but you can come in here and you can remove or identify all the sold homes, and they'll automatically get pushed to your removed leads so you don't market to them anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a huge one. You can identify undeliverable mail even before you send out the mail to save you tons of money. You can do that. And again, it will push it to the removed leads. Then you can skip trace for a new address. And then if it finds a new address, it'll go back on your list. And then you have your different compliance scrubs as well.
Here's a good one, but what's awesome. It's right part of this software, guys. So I'll bring it up anyways. Hope all is well. All is well, Aaron. Thank you. Who do you guys prefer for skip tracing? So many companies to choose from. I want good phone numbers. So I'll let Justin kind of break this down. This is his jam and not mine. But from what I understand, there's really only is it 2 softwares that pull skip tracing, and you have the better of the 2 softwares. So yes, there's a ton of companies to skip trace. Some have low quality or low hit rate is what you're referring to. Like, I want good phone numbers, because there's some that are using the software that is just a lower grade and does a better, doesn't do as good as job. So just maybe touch a little bit about your skip tracing software and what software it uses that allows you to get a high quality hit rate, a high quality return on numbers.
And again, we do, like I mentioned, we do a lot of testing before we start offering any one of our service or products, because we want to make sure it works well. So I test it by doing it in my own real estate investment business. So I tested a lot of different skip tracing companies to identify what not only has the best pricing, but really the most important is the most accurate. Because I would much rather pay more money for more accurate information than cheaper pricing but less accurate. Yeah. So we tested a lot of different services, and we found the best one that has the highest accuracy and gives us the best pricing that we can then pass on to our customers. So just by putting this up here, there was months of testing different systems to make sure that we have the best for our customers.
Fantastic.
The one other aspect to this system that makes it, that I'm really excited about, that I just want to share, and literally makes it a no-brainer to get into the system, is with Cody, we have his special plan. His pricing is, let me see, $159 for this software. This is what so
they can see it. They might see it on the link. If you're in Facebook, you can see it just above in the post. But if you're in YouTube, maybe it's hard to see this link.
Yeah. But the reason why that's this is going to make it so much better for people that are jumping on InvestorHub is, let me just give you an example. So when you go in and you're placing fulfillment, the pricing here, the way that we've structured it is you'll see the quantity from 200 to 4,999. You're only paying 73 cents for your mailer. The website pricing is actually a bit higher because that's our standard price. But in this system, we had to keep it lower for plan pricing.
And this is for a letter, right? Not a postcard?
Yeah, even the postcards are cheaper. So if you go to postcards,
I think a lot of people watching this, they're like, man, your postcards are 73 cents. That's outrageous. But no, guys, that's referring to the letters. The postcards are also, again, why I use him, because his pricing is phenomenal.
There we go. And this, you have different price. You have slightly different pricing than this plan here. You have your own plan with your own pricing. So I think the pricing is actually better than this.
It is. It is.
But in any case, the pricing for low quantities, if you were to fulfill, I think 1,330 letters on InvestorHub, you actually save $200 by ordering through InvestorHub versus our website because it's just cheaper on here. Thereby, you just
weekly, for your monthly.
Yeah, you just paid for your system.
You just pay for your subscription, guys. So if you're mailing 1,300 pieces, the savings on the direct mail through that is already paying for the subscription every month for that service.
Yep. So that was important for us. Again, I want it to be a no-brainer because I know how powerful, how much this is going to help people. I've been investing, like I said, 10 years, and I'm very good with Excel and figuring stuff out. But this system has changed everything because Excel, while it can be very smart, it can't automate a lot of things that I wanted to, and it's not as smart as I need it to be. And this just takes so much out of the process and makes me stay ahead of my marketing campaigns and activities.
Here's one, Justin, I think is awesome. Is I purchased the CRM a couple of weeks ago, loving it so far. Is there an additional cost to integrate InvestorHub with the CRM? Meaning, yes, they're two different platforms. They have two monthly subscriptions, but to actually connect them, I'm assuming there's no additional cost to connect them. No. It's just the two different softwares.
That's correct. And that's one of the most important things is the systems talk to each other. So now as somebody calls in, and once they call in, they're now in your CRM. Once you click, you update the status in your CRM, it sends a communication back to this system here and actually tags them as you're working the lead, which pushes them into removed leads. So you're not now marketing to them while you're talking to them on the phone, right? That's an inconsistent kind of communication.
Oh, I'm laughing so hard because I did that until I switched over to you. So guys, listen to how funny this is. Like funny, not funny, is the fact that how many of you, when a lead calls in, and let's say it's now in your CRM, you're working the lead, how many of you go over to your mail house or your mailing list manually and remove that person? I wasn't. Like I'm guilty as charged. I was not doing that. The best part, because you're working them in the CRM and you put working the lead, it already communicates to this InvestorHub, letting them know that, hey, we're working this lead, take them out of future marketing. So you're saving more money. Your profitability will more than pay for any of these softwares, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But also on the CRM, if they go dark, you can click a button that says add back to marketing, which will then take them out of the removed leads, add them back to leads, and push them back on future marketing activities. So they're back on the list. So those are the big things that I wanted to go through. There's a lot more function. We didn't go through a lot of different things in the details, but I really want everybody to understand what the capabilities of this system are and how it would make their life easier, not just through list management and understanding what leads are better than others, but also marketing execution. So they never really have to go through and filter through Excel spreadsheets anymore.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Justin, so, what skip tracing that you use, it's built into the platform. So it's part of Open Letter Marketing's platform.
Yes. So you can fulfill skip tracing within the system. Also in the portal, you have a skip tracing product here.
Guys, the portal he's talking about is right here. I'm going to put this up. That is the portal. So you'll get my tribe pricing. You'll get my current pricing that I personally pay.
Yep.
Openlettermarketing.com/REFF. That sends you into this portal that you're looking at right now. So that there's video tutorials where he shows you the direct mail sequencing, how to place an order. So it's very, very simple, very smooth. Like, this is part of the work when we did this portal. I'm like, hey, I want this so simple that my 7-year-old enters this portal and is like, oh, I know how to do that. I'm going to do it. So we made it very, very simple with some videos to explain everything. You get my pricing on everything, but scroll down, Justin, at the very bottom in this portal, that's where you can skip trace right from there. Yeah, and then depending on your quantity, you can pay as little as 11 cents per skip trace. So that's what's really cool. And you'll get my pricing on that. So just go through that portal and you already get access.
Yeah, and if they ever have any questions, the bottom right-hand side, there's a little chat functionality. You can talk to kind of my team. Since we launched, we did a very quick launch of OLM InvestorHub that I just showed you about a month ago. We opened it for 1 week. Since then, we have I just want to say our customer service is amazing. We have a 4.8 star review, and our typical response time is 57 seconds. So I'm very proud of that because we're just helping a lot of people out, because there's a lot of questions, right? There's a lot of things that people don't know and don't understand. Yeah. Once in the system, though, it makes everything so much easier. We have tons of tutorials and help desk and chat functionality, everything to make people's lives easier and understand how to kind of go about and make themselves more successful.
Love it. Love it. Anything else you want to end this with?
I think that's it. They can always reach out to me or use this chat function if they have any questions, but I'm always here to help, just like Cody is.
You're awesome. You're awesome. Guys, hopefully this has been worth your time to do a little lunch and learn. I almost ate all of my little snacks here. But I want you to know, I hope this has served you well. This is our 4th week. We'll continue to do this. We're just finding ways to just help you guys. How do we allow you to tap into some of the systems and softwares and automation that we have in our business? Because that's one of the things in scaling. When people are saying, I want to scale, I want to scale. I would never, ever try to scale a team if software and systems were not in place. Those do come first. I want you to know that. A lot of people try to bring on team before there's a process. Think if McDonald's didn't have a process and someone quit their job today, and now they have someone that gets hired. Now what's going to happen is a manager is going to have to personally train everything, right? If you have a system in place, you have a process in place, McDonald's at the end of the day, they don't care if someone flipping burgers quits on the spot. They've got 20 applications in reserve they can reach out to, and then they just plug them into the system, and the guy will come in and fulfill his spot flipping burgers. And it's a system, though. It's not a manager taking his time out of the day to show him how to do it. It's a system. It's a process. So put the systems, put the automation in place before the team. Don't put the team in front of the automation. If a process is not written down, it doesn't exist. You make sure you have a process in place, because once you have that, your team, you're setting your future team up for nothing but success. So that's my 2 cents.
That's awesome, man. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm smiling over here because it's so true. So true.
Okay. Well, Justin, thank you so much again. I appreciate this. This is something that I asked of you a little over a month ago, and you've kindly do this. You take this time out of your day when you could be working with your team. You could be doing deals. You could be working on your business. But I want you to know I do appreciate this, because this has been helpful to those that are watching, but more importantly, you've taken the time out of your day, and I appreciate people that are willing to do that so they can help my community, help the tribe, get better at what they're doing.
Yeah, I love doing it. So thank you for having me on and taking your time too to go through this and share with your whole tribe. That's awesome of you.
You guys are rock stars. Go out there, go get your deal, fail your way forward, get these systems in place, go learn, go take a little bit of time right now to just learn. Go to openlettermarketing.com/REFF. You'll see the portal. Go do a little learning in there. See how you can apply it into your business, because once you have this in place, it's going to give you that time back. And that's ultimately what majority of the people when I talk to are saying why they want to get into real estate. They want more time back. And I can tell you just in my own life, this is from the time when I've had not time in my life to now where these processes and systems have given me more time. And there's a complete difference in my lifestyle when I have these processes, these automations in place. So go over there, take a look. Hopefully it served you guys. Take care, and we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing this every single week so you guys can continue to learn while you eat lunch or snacks or whatever. Take care, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Cody.